at Brown University School of Professional Studies. I've been training teachers in MBSR since 2012, and I've been practicing meditation for over 30 years. It's a joy to meet at my age, to meet people who have a practice, who are seeking to connect with others, share what they've learned through practice, what they've experienced. And it feels like the continuation of something ancient and also quite powerful and skillful as a way to meet the moment, this moment, the one in 2026 and late April. Here we are. So let's take a few moments to arrive and practice together. So if you've been sitting for a long time, as I have, you might want to take a stretch or two, maybe opening the shoulders, raising the arms, yawning, wiggling in your chair, letting out a sigh or a yawn. We don't always have the luxury of being able to take a moment to move before sitting, but sometimes we do, and we should take that. So as you settle into a shape, letting the body take a shape that reflects the sincerity of your intention. Balanced, maybe with both feet on the floor if you're sitting in a chair, your arms by your side. And I'm going to keep my glasses on, but if you wear glasses, you might want to take them off. There's something about that. I'm facilitating this, so I want to be able to see you all. But just taking the glasses off, lowering the eyes or closing them, and feeling your attention land in your body. Not as a thought, but really as direct connection with sensations. The feet on the floor, your seat in the chair. Allowing your body to be received by the surface it's resting on. Which often means letting go of any muscular holding or tension. And sometimes it's the kind of holding that we're not even aware of until we recognize that we can let go. The belly softens, the fingers and hands soften, the face. This gentling into the present moment, arriving, letting go of whatever isn't needed, whether it's the physical tension or perhaps the mental tension, emotional tension, the leftover conversation from earlier, the to-do list, just here, just now. Connecting to this breathing body, sensing body. Not needing to get rid of thoughts or emotions, but simply to know that they're here. Returning attention to the physical sensations of sitting, feeling, breathing, being. So even a few moments shifting from doing to being can be restorative, can offer a little bit of space perhaps even just to know how tired or hungry or whatever state we're in, just to know it a little better. So now allowing the eyes to open gently and just looking around the space you're in first. Most of us have spent way too much time looking at our screens. So expanding your vision to include the room you're in, color, light, and then gradually, as you are ready, allowing your eyes to come and meet the screen and fellow travelers here. Thanks, everyone, for practicing. I hope you feel I see some wiggles that indicate a little bit of a lighter mood or a lighter lift here. So I'm actually going to start this information session in a different way, which is to ask you to put your primary questions into the chat, hopefully so we can all see them. I'm gonna go through all the things I usually go through, but it's really useful to hear what's on your mind as we begin. And as specific as you want to get, the better. We'll take another minute or two and let you do that. And it's okay, there will be more time for other questions, so you don't have to get them all in, but what are the top ones? Okay, dates. An email for more information, trajectory that leads to an MBSR certified instructor, time dedication. Great. Costs. Fantastic. So, what I can say is that you all will receive the recording of this session and emails that you can reach out to for more information. Great, very clear. Does a silent retreat at Kripalu meet the prerequisite? Trajectory, cost, the length of the teacher training program, qualified through UCSD, curious what your pathway is, curious to know if certification includes some kind of resources or pipeline to establish a business. How long does it take to finish? This is wonderful. Thank you. So now I'm going to possible to follow the entire course remotely. I'm going to answer that right off the bat. Yes. Yes, the whole teacher training pathway is online. Are prerequisites due before registration of first courses? Yes. Um, and retreats, yes. So great. This is good, and this will launch us. So I'm going to share the screen um, and walk you through uh, part of the website that I'm hoping you all are familiar with, which is this training pathway at a glance. So I'm going to pull up the full certificate so we can look at that. So I didn't ask beforehand, and I can't see you all now, but the requirement is to have already taken an 8-week MBSR program. It doesn't have to be with us at Brown, but you need to take a live not an asynchronous program. So I believe there are two of those, one from Sounds True and one from I think it's called Palouse Mindfulness. Those two programs do not count as prerequisites. We want you to have the experience of moving through week by week with a group, with a live group, with a teacher that you meet with. So that's the first step for teacher training. And if that program resonates with you, if you feel like, yes, this is something I want to do, then your next step would be to take a 5 to 7 day silent retreat or two of the qualifying 3 day silent retreats. And I will take us to the retreat page after I've completed this section. There's also a requirement of the preference is 2 years of personal meditation practice. This is daily practice, generally like in the 30 to 40 minute range, which is what we're doing in MBSR. So if you've had a practice of being on an app for 10 or 15 minutes, which is for many people a great way to start, you might need to build up your practice so that you have longer daily practice. If once you've completed these prerequisites, we'll also take a year of practice if it's been fairly deep and ongoing, more like 30 to 40 minutes. So we will speak with you, we'll engage and see if this feels like a good fit. If you've completed these requirements, then you can apply to the MBSR Foundations and Facilitator Training. This is an 8-week MBSR class along with a seminar that you meet weekly with trainees. So the training section is a subset of people in the MBSR. However, you're still encouraged and I mean, you're engaged in the MBSR class again as a participant. But in this way, we'll be talking about what's unfolding in the class, what's unfolding for you, and begin to unpack the elements of the foundations of teaching mindfulness. So the foundations course is not a training to teach the 8-week program. It is a foundational training. And it gives you the opportunities to practice a little bit of teaching, guiding practice for setting you up for the facilitator designation that you're a mindfulness facilitator when you leave this course. So that's a full 10-week. And when you complete that with successful completion, you're qualified to guide mindfulness practices and offer introductory workshops. Once you've done at least 3 of these, and I encourage you to do many more, along with another retreat requirement, and independent study in whatever ways that you're called to from what you've learned in the foundations, along with deepening your own practice, that prepares you for the Teacher Advancement Intensive. The TAI is a training to teach the 8-week program. You're engaged over 3 long weekends. They're usually Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with some time between. And in these, you do a deep dive into the curriculum and have many opportunities to offer teach back. So you really practice teaching here. This leads to a qualified level 1 MBSR teacher. There are other courses here. I'm not going to go into all of this right now, but there's a group mentoring program. Is individual mentoring. These two lead you to qualified level 2. And then all of these, along with the dialogue and inquiry course and the 2 ethos courses, along with a total of 4 retreats, bring you to teacher certification. I know a few of you were asking, how long does it actually take to go from the beginning to the end to certification? And I'm going to break it down like this. If you're starting foundations, you can be ready to teach the 8-week program in about a year or maybe 16 months, depending on when you begin. So, relatively quickly, you can be up and running to teach the courses. The rest of your coursework happens in combination with your teaching. So, in order to move on, you really need to be teaching, which is great because then you can earn a little money to pay for your ongoing training. The whole certification, depending on how much you're teaching, at the shortest takes about 3 or 3.5 years. But it's really fine to take longer. 5, 6, even 7 years is not unusual. You're teaching, but you're also able to fit in retreats and take the other classes. So from here, let me stop the share for a moment and then we can move to retreats. Um, Yeah, so that covers some of the prerequisites. Um, I want to answer some of these about establishing business and or contracts. No, there is no business course. We're not a registry that sets you up with places to offer classes. So this is on you. And what we do in foundations is we have a special, what we call a bonus session, where we talk about the importance of the intro programs, how that supports your teaching, and also how it supports those that you're trying to reach, whether that's in a place of business, your community, if you want to teach in person, or special populations that you want to meet. A lot of times teachers come in with organizations in mind where they want to go to, or some teachers come, some trainees come, and they've already connected with their organization where they work, and their organization is actually able to offer them some stipends and tuition assistance because there's a reciprocal relationship between, well, you're going to learn mindfulness, you're going to offer introductory programs, we'll support you in engagement. If you go on to teach MBSR, will you know, offer some funds for tuition if you agree to hold classes with us. So there can be some interesting employment possibilities there. Let's see. Um, yeah, so the retreat as prerequisites. If you've taken the MBSR program within the last 8 years, 9 years, I've spoken with people who've taken it as long as 10. And once we've just had a conversation and they've been practicing since then, that's fine. Usually with a retreat, if it's been taken in the last 5 or 6 years, we're completely willing to accept that. Yeah. So you'll receive, somebody says, Victoria, thank you. Can you send information for the prerequisites? Everything's online, and I'm going to go back to that um, page and show you how to navigate around there. So I'm going to go out of this. I want to just note that on this page, so this is on the curriculum page, and there's also this very handy training schedule, which we've just launched. And here you can see, oh, if I'm interested in registering, actually, this is already started. So we need to take this one off. But the summer, you can see the MBSR, the foundations program lists, fall for that. And then um, here's curriculum study group, here's the teacher advancement intensive. Some of these dialogue and inquiry, it doesn't have exact, oh, it does have exact dates. So you can see when things are launching. So I'm going to go back here and just walk you through these pages. You can see here's a list of the prerequisites, and it's got all kinds of links to follow. Registration and cost can be found here. Each of the courses, the cost for each one. Please note that retreats are not included in this. You can note our faculty. Let me go back. So let me go to the retreats page. That's often one, and there's several places where you can link to this page. So we're getting ready to redo this page, but it's long. You've got to read scroll down through quite a ways. Um, First of all, I want to note that under retreat locations, there are these recent offerings. This is a very bad title, but each of these you can see is a live link. And I encourage you to go through each of these. These links are from teachers who work with us. So this is Bob Stahl's retreats, and he has a full listing here. This is Eowyn Ahlstrom, her retreats. So you've got to do a deeper dive, but these are worthwhile retreats. The Inside Us retreat, which is the one required retreat. It's offered by at a few different sites. It's usually Bob Stahl and another teacher. This is Kate Mitchum's retreats. And then the UMass Memorial Health 3-day online retreats. These are the only 3-day retreats that are qualified, and you need two of these. And they're specific because they lengthen the length of the retreat. They start Friday at noon and they go Sunday till 5, which is a little bit longer than typical 3-day retreats. John Kabat-Zinn does do a 7-day retreat at Omega Institute in the fall. He does this with his son, Will Kabat-Zinn. There might be some spaces available if you're interested. It's not fully silent, so we only include this as a qualifying 3-day retreat, but we would certainly encourage you to sit with John. And then this is the long list. It's not exhaustive, but it is a long list of retreats around the world, retreat centers that hold qualifying retreats. Again, continue to scroll down here. These are the retreat formats, particularly around the 3-day retreat schedule. Want to just highlight that. So again, I'm going to stop the share. I believe somebody asked about Kripalu, and that is not on our list. And usually it's not, it doesn't qualify. It's not a silent, completely silent. It's not the teachers are not always, let me back up. What I would say is if it's a Kripalu retreat, it's unlikely, but if you want to really be sure, you can send the link to me. And I believe my email is on there, but you can also just send it to Exec Education and we can check. Yeah, yes, you can attend the retreats online if they're online retreats. So there are both in-person retreats and online retreats. Great. Um, how many students? The MBSR class can be as many as 38 people. The foundations course is smaller, 12. So of those 38, if you're taking foundations, of those 38, up to 12 might be in your training cohort. I'm sorry, I'm just seeing this are the Omega Institute retreats. Only the John Kabat-Zinn retreat is a qualifying retreat. Every now and then there's a retreat with Shanti Deva um, and sometimes that one. Again, I would recommend if there's a retreat there to just send a link, but we're looking for student teacher-led, fully silent. Yeah, the UMass retreats are the only eligible 3-day retreats. No, you cannot attend the John Kabat-Zinn online. It is only in person, and apparently there is a waiting list already. All right. So I'm working through this. I'm aware that I really like to hear your voices. So if I'm answering one of your questions and you want to come in with a follow-up, please do. Oh, great. Thank you, Sharn. Will has
Hi.
well
Thank
into
you.
where is
That
it?
was it's at the Omega Institute in June as well. So I know they're doing a combined in September. That's a long waiting list, and the one in June, I don't know if it's full yet, but
I
I
don't know
don't
if
know if that one would qualify.
I don't know if it counts either, because I don't know if it's fully silent. It makes me curious. I can reach out. The issue with Omega is it's huge and there's not it's not held in silence. The whole place is not in silence. And so it's just a more, a wellness retreat center. So it's just different kind of feeling. Um, So this was a great question, Andrea. Is it possible to attend MBSR retreats at the, yes, Franco is a dear friend of mine. And yes, you are absolutely welcome. You can also, if you're teaching in Italy, you can do training with him. If you're going to be teaching in the language, it can be really useful to train in the language. So yeah, but it's up to you. Let me see. Any other, let me now ask us to come offline or to come off mute if there's any other um, questions. So, no, we can't send the emails for the retreats. You have to go online and look things up.
I know at one point you were offering scholarship assistance. Uh,
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jeffrey, go ahead.
no, and I know that there was one specifically for people of color or diverse participants.
Yeah, thank you for naming that. That grant has been completed. But we encourage you to register, and on that application, you're invited to apply for tuition assistance. We offer payment plans, and we do as much as we can with tuition assistance, especially for people who are working with underserved populations. Yeah, thank you. Other questions? Really welcome your voices to come in. Okay. Here's Tina. I took an MBSR class for Mindful Leader, received a certificate. Is this acceptable? Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Non-credits for teacher. Yes, it's not a credit-bearing program. Yeah.
I have a question, Lynn.
Yeah.
So if I've already gone through UCSD's program and I'm a qualified teacher through them and I want to get certified, how does that line up with your program? What would you do
Yeah.
with somebody like me?
Yeah. We would invite you into the TAI, Becky. So it would mean you would need to complete something that might be familiar. I mean, it would be familiar, but it would be also a completely different experience. So you would need to start at that level. The only program that we take, is a transfer is the first level. And our first level doesn't convey being a qualified teacher. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. All right, somebody's asking. Let me do this. Hold on a moment. Let me put the retreats link in the chat. It's for retreats. Yeah. Yes, there are other 8-week programs in Chinese speaking region. Can we use that as prerequisites for the foundation program at Brown? Yes. Yes, you absolutely can. And again, if you are planning to teach in a non-English language, I would encourage you to consider doing your teacher training in that language. There is a very good training center in China. Uh, it is much more difficult for a number of reasons. The time zones, just planning for your schedule. We're not set up so that we can easily offer programs at a time that isn't going to be in the middle of the night for you if you're in on the other side of the globe. As far as number of retreats to attend, the total is 4, but they happen at a certain time. So you need one to make it into foundations, then you need one between foundations and TAI, and the other 2 can be taken anywhere along the line. Yeah, Jerry Ann. You can unmute. I know you can do it. I think it's *6, or you can put it in. I'm mishearing your voice. Um, yes, the UCSD 8-week course. You can take the 8-week course anywhere.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
It was like stuck. So I have a question. It might be a silly question, but can you just explain, like, I know about mindfulness and like the way I really know about it is like with my yoga students and like my massage clients and that kind of stuff. But like, can you just explain the possibilities of what could happen with this certification? Like what we could do with it, like as like settings or environments, or do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
possibilities for like, is it one-on-one working with clients directly or?
So you're talking about the full certification, Jerry.
Yeah.
So certified teachers, first of all, they have a lot of experience. I mean, it does take a while. So they have more experience than somebody who is just qualified. Some organizations, so if you're at a medical, if you've gone to talk to a medical center or a hospital about having an MBSR class, the likelihood of them wanting a certified teacher is pretty high. So it opens doors, and it signifies a deeper investment in the your training and in your own practice, really. MBSR isn't offered individually. You can work with individuals with mindfulness, but it's not an equivalent to MBSR.
Okay. So then along the way, as we're going through the process for the whole entire thing, like, are there pieces of it as we complete one part of the like the first 8 week is what can we like, what will that allow us to do?
So taking the 8 week program doesn't allow you to do anything. It is
Hmm.
not a teacher training. And we want to be really clear about this because many people come to MBSR and they think, oh, good, I'll take the 8 week and I'll learn a few things and I'll do the few things. And then when they actually engage with the teacher training program, they realize they never actually took MBSR in the first place. And they're like, oh, now I see. So take it in the that first 8 week is really for you. Do I
Yeah.
resonate with this? After you take the foundations, then with successful completion, you receive the badge as a designated mindfulness facilitator. That allows you to offer introductory programs, work one-on-one with people, included in HR employees have taken that to work with employees, employee wellness, um, that sort of thing. So educational settings, high school counselors can offer it to staff. So it just opens some doors to teach general mindfulness or in some intro programs in different settings.
Okay.
Is that
Thank you so
answer?
much. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Thank you.
Um, Victoria, you're going to have to do a little bit of searching for the 8 week course. All of the Brown classes are online. And there are 8 week courses though for through Mindful Leaders. Someone mentioned that. Are you based, Victoria, where are you based? Do you want to come online here? Yes, you can go online through Brown. I was hoping you would speak, but
I'm from Canada.
okay, you've got great
Yeah.
Canadian resources too. There's British Columbia. So I would type in where you are first because
Okay.
taking it, that could have an economic impact. I don't know what their course costs are, but there's some great places in Canada to learn from. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you now because I can feel my own attention divided. What other questions have I either not answered or that have come up in this conversation? And not let's not use chat, but let's bring your voice on. I feel like then we can have maybe a little bit deeper conversation. Actually, Margaret's here from Vancouver. Do you know of any? Yeah, are you familiar with Mindful Canada? I think that's what it's called, or Mindfulness Canada, my friend
Hey,
Kathy.
you know what? I can check my email. There is an instructor based out of North Van who seems really lovely. So I can type, if that's okay, I'll type
Sure.
in the name of that institution and the instructor into the chat channel?
Or just, yeah, sure.
Just because I have to check my phone to get you the name.
Of course, that's fine.
But yeah, they seem great, and the price was right on par with everything else I could find online. So worth a look. That's all I'll say.
That's great. Thanks, Margaret. Please, Tina. Unmuting is the challenge of the day, isn't it?
Hi, Lynn. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. So I work in a hospital and I work with resident doctors pretty much every day. They're radiologists, and I've been meditating and doing yoga for over 11 years now, and I did the MBSR class, but I really want to incorporate mindfulness and teach the residents at this point, not the MBSR, but some sort of mindfulness. I think it's so needed today. I try to do that with poetry readings and in the reading rooms, but I want to be certified where I know more and how to approach it with doctors. So,
Yeah.
then maybe eventually get maybe the MBSR, but at this point, I can do the foundations and then start.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds beautiful.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
It's
Thank you.
wonderful. And Margaret, thank you. That's my dear friend, Kasim Almashat. He's wonderful, wonderful. You would be well served. And Tina, doctors, medical settings are really hard, but the mindfulness facilitator would allow you to do daily sits for 5 minutes. You could say when the shift is changing or something, if you want to come 5 minutes early, we can have a brief practice.
I do try to do that now, but I want to be certified to say, hey, listen, I went to Brown and got this, and I was taught by the best. So,
well, it's not a certification. So it's not a certification at that point, but
I
you would have
know.
a mindfulness facilitator.
Facilitator, not it.
Yeah.
Right. I gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Others, we have plenty of time. Let's hear your voices.
Hello,
Yeah.
good evening, everybody. Sorry for my English. It's not the best, but I will try my best. So I already took the 8 week program at the Institute of Franco Cucchio. But if I continue with him the teacher training, it will be possible to join the retreats maybe in summer and integrate it also at Brown, or is this not possible?
This is I'm really glad you're raising this. So, no, you can't do Brown and Franco's teacher training. And you can't sort of pick and choose. So, however, I guess my question is like, why does it feel so essential to get it from Brown? Because Franco's an amazing trainer, and to train in your own language with a community of trainees and teachers in your own country is powerful. I ask why you need why you need Brown. I mean, I mean, we love, and you can take other classes. So I don't think Franco's pathway has dialogue and inquiry or the ethos program. So you'd be welcome to take those in addition, but it won't lead you to a certificate at Brown. But it will be challenging. It will be challenging between
Yeah,
language
but
and time zone.
no, yeah, I agree totally. But just to do the experience, maybe I will be 1 month in the summer there to join our just one retreat, maybe with John Kabat-Zinn or at the Brown, or
Well,
that's possible.
we don't hold retreats at Brown. Brown does not sponsor retreats. So you can't take a retreat with Brown or at Brown. It's these
Okay.
other places. Yeah. But we'd love to have you
Okay.
take
And you,
dialogue inquiry or another course. Yeah.
okay. Okay. Now it's clear. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey,
And
can I
please,
jump?
if you see Franco, give him my best. Tell him that we've met. Yeah. Shannon, please.
Thank you. I'm not sure my question's well formulated yet. Hear me
Those are the
out.
best. Those are the best.
Thank you. Um, I was hoping to register for the summer foundations course, but will not have been able to complete the retreat requirement yet. So my question was, are there other course offerings or opportunities that don't necessarily give credit towards the facilitator or certification, but that fill the need, if you will, for an educational component to the practice?
Shannon, have you taken the 8-week program?
I did. I took the 8-week program through UMass
Great.
nearly 2 years ago now, and just have not been able to complete the retreat requirements.
Yeah.
I'm a mom.
I know.
Life, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm looking for a way, I think, to engage. If I can't do the foundations course, are there other ways to engage academically, for lack of a less geeky word?
Yeah. No, unfortunately, not that we provide because it's all based on teacher training and yeah. Um, I mean, what I can say is that the Berry Center for Buddhist Studies, BCBS, has courses that are, they're it's a Buddhist center, so they're Buddhist courses, but they're fantastic. And that for your own education and for your own engagement, you might want to look there. Yeah, online. But nothing that would add, I mean, it would add to your knowledge and your practice and your, eventual MBSR connection, but having that retreat under your belt before you enter foundations really changes things completely. We used to be a little bit mushier around that, but it was really clear that people came in a different way.
I didn't have it on my radar. From my understanding, when UMass used to offer the teaching, and so I'm just looking for a reboot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I believe, I mean, if they have mindfulness tools, which is a different format. You could also just engage in a practice course, which would be great. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
well formed question. Anyone else? Sharon?
Thank you. And looking at the foundations course for summer, am I reading it correctly when it just reads 2 days per week is what you do, like a full day, 2 days per week? And it's either Monday, Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that kind of thing, correct?
Yes, they're not full days. So the MBSR class is 2.5 hours, and the first and the last class are a little longer. And then the foundations training is 3.5 hours. So, and I don't remember when the summer courses are, but are you looking at that?
I am looking here. I'm trying to figure out, maybe I'm getting so foundations and facilitator, and I guess can't read which one is which.
So that let me come back here to our
Okay.
interactive training schedule.
Okay.
And so happy about. Let's see. So the Foundations and Facilitator Training, that's a single training. And in the summer, you've got MBSR on Monday nights and then Foundations class on Wednesday. So Foundations and Facilitator Training is this Wednesday course. And they're paired. So each of these, so when you take MBSR and then Wednesday night, you talk about what happened for you in that class. How was the practice? So is that helpful?
It is. So that is actually the facilitator, but it's also the 8 weeks for people who need the 8-week course as well.
No, you have to be there. You're taking the MBSR and you're taking the Foundations and Facilitator Training. So you go to your class, and you have the experience you have in class, and then on Wednesday you meet with your smaller subgroup, the max is 12, and you talk about what it was like for you in class. And then you do that for 10 weeks.
Okay. And that is 100% the facilitator.
Yep.
All right. While
Yep.
I have you,
Yeah.
are you familiar with the Ali Turfy 8-week course? Is that qualified?
Yeah, I know, Ali.
Okay. Fantastic.
I know. It's great. It's wonderful.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Great. You're welcome. Anybody else? What if there aren't a ton of questions, what makes you interested in this? Does anybody care to share? Tina, it was really lovely to hear. You work with residents, they're kind of stressed.
I can share.
Great.
For me, right now I work at a hospital and I'm working with cancer patients. And I've gone through Dr. Linda Carlson's training in Calgary.
Great.
So I've got that training and I'm also certified to teach mindfulness and performance through MPEAK. And I'm also a mindful self-compassion teacher as well.
Okay.
And so for me, I just think that I kind of just wanted the certification, even though the hospital is allowing me to work with the cancer patients, having my qualification that I do, just probably because of my extensive background that I have and all the teaching I've done. So just thought kind of what you said, it just adds a little more to my background. So that's why I'm here, just to see what your pathway was or is. And that's why I kind of was curious about where I'd line up even with all of my background.
Yeah, Becky, have you received mentoring or supervision
Yes.
in your teaching?
Yes.
Great. There may not be a good enough reason for you to switch gears or to try and, complete all that. I will say this. So I talked about the beginning part of the pathway. The second part of the pathway is that group curriculum study group and skills building. I've made that. It's a long title. The study group is group mentoring, and you're doing more teach backs. The individual mentoring is where you actually film yourself teaching and you walk through a whole course with your mentor and you look at your films and you reflect on them. So it's a very in-depth, very, yeah, just an in-depth experience of teaching. Yeah. Okay. Yes, thank you. Andrea needed to leave. It's late where she's at. Yeah, anything else? Or anyone want to share more of what brings them to this? Many people feel a certain calling to do this kind of work, often motivated by their own experience of practice. Tina and Sharn. I heard
Let Tina go.
Oh, thank you. I was going to ask Lynn what started her process and what stirred her to begin
Um,
meditating and
yeah, I started meditating uh, over 30 years ago, I mentioned. And my root tradition is not Buddhism. It has a lot of specialized language. It's a spiritual tradition, and I love it. And I'm a teacher in that tradition. And I was also a body worker at the time. I say I was a massage therapist before it was cool. And it was, I felt some resonance with that experience and needing to be present, I like had to be fully present.
Mhm.
And I learned about MBSR, and I was probably watching John Kabat-Zinn on Bill Moyer's Healing in the Mind. And if you haven't seen that, you can Google it and find it.
Mhm.
And when I saw him interacting with people, I got off the couch. I said, that's what I do. In my bodywork practice, it was this awareness. It was fueled by that. And I became very curious about what it would be like to be able to teach without a specialized language, where I could offer meditation that was grounded in science in a way that would allow people who might never come to my meditation path, but were able to connect with the practice in a full way that would allow them to experience life differently. So I
Yes,
resonated very much with his whole vision.
yes, yes. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you, Lynn.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you. I am awed all the time that I get to do what I do.
you.
Truly.
That's wonderful.
Thank you for asking, Margaret.
You'd think I could get to the mute button faster by now, but um, yeah, just I guess sharing like it's similar to something that you were saying about the science behind it, right? I think so I'm a serial entrepreneur, spent most of my life like building my own companies, and now I work with really high stressed entrepreneurs who just don't think that they have time or that it's worth it. And it's the love of science behind like, well, what's the physiological impact of meditation that drew me into it. And then I think after years of experiencing it, realized and felt the impact. And
Yeah.
now that I work with people who are similar to how I was, being able to share my own stories and experiences with them and seeing the change in their openness to it. So I think what's drawing me towards teaching is this idea that perhaps I can be that representation for them to say, like, no, 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 this is for you. In fact, this is perfect for you. And it doesn't take hours and we're all bad at it for all the time you don't have to be great at it. You're gonna still get something out of it. Like just that has been really pulling me in for a while. So now I'm just starting to kind of um, accept that and follow that thread, right? So
Great. It's so beautiful, Margaret. And we don't even need to open our mouths for people to feel something like, what'd she have? You know, we sometimes say that mindfulness is more caught than taught. So
what does that mean to you? Could you
that it's through embodiment, that it's through living the practice, not as an idea, but as actually living the practice that makes us different and people can relate to us different. Yeah, I'm sure people have said, especially high-powered corporate types are like, well, you seem so calm, or you seem like balanced, or you seem able to recover more quickly from challenges. So you're muted. You're muted.
I was gonna say the number one thing I hear is you? You meditate? And it's like, yeah, A-type bubbly chatty people, absolutely capable
Yes,
of it too. Don't you worry.
yes. Embrace the paradox, right?
Exactly.
It's good. We're all types. It takes all types. Hi, is Jenny? Is that your or
Yep, Jen. Yep.
Jen? Great.
Um, I I worked for University of Michigan Medical Center for about 15 years. Pretty stressful positions. and actually discovered Reiki first. And I ended up becoming a Reiki master and then a sound healer, a vibrational sound therapist, and then it turned into meditation, where I have been creating meditations specific for clients as I'm working with them. And then adding meditations to my sound healing courses. And it's really taken off and it's gone quite well. And I'm doing it full time now. It's been 6 years. Um, but I am too fascinated by the neuroscience, by the research, by the legitimacy of it when you can really speak to it. And I would like to start branching out. And even though I have connections and I could go back and I could be working in a hospital situation or local companies or businesses, even school systems, which I would love to do. Wouldn't it be fabulous if students who were in detention learned mindfulness instead of just being punished inside? There's so many applications. And so I just thought I really want to explore how to create some legitimacy and also the certification so that I can approach it and feel like I really know what I'm talking about and I have some basis behind the knowledge piece as opposed to just the experience that has just evolved over time.
And there's so many doorways into meditation. We don't talk about Reiki. We don't talk about any of those other doorways. Perfectly fine, but not. So it also can be challenging if you've been doing a lot of other things. It's like, okay, we're coming in close to this thing. So that's a good thing to consider as well. And have you taken the 8-week program?
No, I signed up for the University of California, San Diego.
Great.
So that's starting the beginning of May.
Wonderful.
I'm really excited. I can't wait to learn. I can't wait to learn.
That's great, Jen. Thanks for sharing. And Sharon, you'll close us out.
Okay. Just wanted to say when you said it, that, you kind of catch it. And I started just as a personal practice, and I'm a professor already in unrelated field, but I was asked to do workshops and it kind of evolved. And now I find myself incorporating bits and pieces into my teaching. And now I'm being asked to do workshops every year. And I'm like, I want to be responsible. I don't want to, go beyond what I'm supposed to do, even though I've done workshops on things in my field. So it's catching me. Like if people are asking, oh, what is that? We're very interested in what you're doing. How about do a workshop? I'll write you into my grant so you could come do mindfulness. And I'm like, hold on. I don't know that I'm ready. And so I'm just at that point where I think, okay, I've done it. I meditate every day and I do the hour-long practice. And God bless Ali, who really just kind of keeps us. And when he's gone, we find more. So thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. It's wonderful to know that you know Ali. And you should know of the Association for Contemplative Mind in Higher Education if you aren't familiar with that organization. Yeah, it's good. Good people. All right, folks, I want to honor all of our time. Thank you so much. Feel free to unmute and say goodbye. Really appreciated meeting you and having this conversation.
Thank you.
Lynn.
Thank you so much.
Care.
Pleasure to
Bye.
meet everybody. Thank you. Thank
So,
you.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
again.
bye.